Hey guys, welcome back to the Sleepout podcast. I'm your temporary host, Jay. I'm joined by my co-host, Will, and our dear friend Mattheus
Yeah,
again, because
Hey.
we are missing
he's
some of our
back.
members tonight. We've got the Canadian man back. But tonight we've got Liam. Liam came home from work suddenly feeling sick, so he's not here, and Jay couldn't make it tonight either. So it's just me and Will, so we decided to drag this fucker back into it. Mateus, how's it going today?
It's alright. I woke up at like midday because it's the weekend.
Yeah.
And then I kind of did nothing, to
You're
be
like
honest.
you're like the one person out of our friend group of a lockdown who's because Mateus, Liam and Will. I know you have been staying up till like the sun rises and then sleeping until like 4 p.m. Mateus, you stick to a good schedule in the week because of school, and then it's the weekend, so you're just like sleep time.
My mom walks into my room at like 9 in the morning and goes like, "Hey, Mattheus, you gotta get up. It's getting late." And I'm like,
Go fuck
no, it's
yourself.
not.
It's still
It's
the
the weekend.
morning.
I can sleep.
It's 11:59 a.m. It says a.m., bro. What have you been
Yeah, I
doing
walked-
though? I mean, oh sorry, keep going.
I walked out into the kitchen, was like, "Good afternoon," and my parents were like, "Yeah, right, exactly." And I was like, "Jeez, man,
You right.
stop shaming me for sleeping in."
Yeah, what is wrong with your parents? They're so shameful of your sleep patterns.
Good morning. Yeah, it's like when I walk downstairs and I'm like, I go to my mum and Cliff and I'm like, oh, good morning guys, and they look at the clock and they're like, it's 2 p.m. I'm like, yeah, I know. That's the that's
Morning
the
where I come from.
that's the single latest time that I've slept until this lockdown. It's 2:26 p.m. is when I woke up, and that was the night that I stayed up till 6 a.m. and watched the sunrise on the night that Sex Education came out.
Oh, yeah.
This morning I stayed up till about 9:10, and then I went to sleep for about 40 minutes.
Nice one.
And then I did like a 8-hour shift at work, and then I came home and I fell asleep, and I woke up like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah,
You
you
know
pretty
what's
much
fun-
woke up when I messaged you telling you to record.
I woke up and then I got ding, and then I looked and it was Finn messaging me. I was so groggy. I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Sorry, bro. Mateus, you were saying?
Nah, it's not your fault.
What was funny this week is since we're back in level 3, I've been going back to work,
I was
and
about to say
I was being paid like 12 and a half hours on wage subsidy,
that. Yeah.
and I go back to work and I work 12 hours this week.
Oh,
So
and
it's
you
like
get paid the same amount.
I'm getting paid the same amount that I would have been paid for doing
for
nothing,
doing
but
nothing.
I'm working.
Yeah. For anyone
Yeah.
listening that isn't in New Zealand, wage subsidy is like the government giving businesses that lose 40% revenue or more money to pay their employees that can't work. It's cool. It's cool. Mateus made lots of free money.
Do you know other countries have a wage subsidy?
Do they? Awesome. I thought we were the only ones
Well,
because we care about our people.
I'm sure countries like Denmark or something have
Yeah,
one.
good based countries.
Yeah, based there. Gangster 100 countries.
But yeah, no, I worked Wednesday, which was our first day open, and we got absolutely slammed. My boss turned up to our work with all of like I got there half an hour. I got there half an hour before we opened, and he turned up 5 minutes after we opened with all of the like food and stuff that we needed. We
Oh,
literally
man.
had nothing for the first half hour that when we were prepping. And by the time he had gotten there with all of the tortillas and the meats and stuff, because I work at a Mexican restaurant, we had already had like 3 orders.
Oh,
And then he
no.
realized that we didn't have a microwave to heat up the food, so we had to heat it up in pots on the burner. So it's like we were behind all night. It was great, and then the other 2 days,
It's a Mexican restaurant, eh?
yeah, it's amazing. It's the
It's
best
such,
Mexican
such a
restaurant.
good restaurant, bro.
I love Mexican.
Yeah,
food.
La Mexicana. If any of you guys are in town and want
Oh, yeah.
some proper Mexican cuisine,
No, yeah, go there. It's fucking
Is
amazing.
it authentic?
it's
It's
authentic. I saw a video of this lady in America, and I hate this. I got so upset.
I hate
she-
America.
I can say that I'm Canadian.
Go
Hey, no, you can't say that because you're Canadian.
we go Canada and America go way back.
You're not saying go
and
hand in hand. No, they do not.
she So traditional Mexican tacos are soft shell. They're not hard shell. And then there's 2 small tortillas, and they overlap in the middle.
Yeah.
And so how you hold them is you pinch together right in the middle, holding both of the tortillas, and then eat it. And this lady in this like TikTok video or I saw or whatever, is like, she's like this soccer mom, and she's like, hey guys, the reason there's 2 tortillas is you pick up the first one, eat all of the stuff, and the stuff that falls out, you pick up the other tortilla and you eat that. And someone reacted to it going like, how did this white lady teach me how to eat tacos? And I was like, that's not how you eat them. No, don't let everyone believe this. Oh god.
What the fuck just happened to your microphone? Did you hear that, Will?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
Little fucking demon.
People listening, that there was no audio effects there. That was just Mattheus's microphone. What the fuck? Anyway,
White
we've all
people
been...
shouldn't be allowed to touch ethnic food.
White people shouldn't be allowed to educate people on how to eat
White
their own
people shouldn't be
cultured
allowed to do
food.
anything. No, joking.
I mean, okay,
But
so...
I think that goes hand in hand with like other people.
Yeah.
Like other races shouldn't tell white people how to eat their food.
I mean...
Do we have
We
food?
don't really have food.
We don't
though.
have food. We have...
No, we have sausages. We have a lot of sausages.
we have British
and
cuisine. We
a lot
have steak and chips.
We have a lot
Well, I
of
mean,
pies
Canada has
and a lot
poutine.
of-
And
Oh.
if you mess up poutine, we're gonna cry.
That's what I
But
was...
that's like
That's exactly
yeah,
what I was
just
going to
as a
talk
white
about.
person's
So,
food. That's a French person's food. So it doesn't count.
Well,
Should
no,
be
it's Canadian.
outlawed.
France
French
doesn't do poutine.
Yeah, but French Canadian is the same thing.
They're not.
there's literally a place
Nah.
called French
Any French
Canada.
people would lose their shit at you right now.
I'm
Poutine. Poutine is fucking amazing. I
I've never
remember
had poutine.
I was trying to think of shit to talk about this episode, and now I've got something to talk about. And my mind went back to when I went to Canada, and I've got a few stories to tell from that trip. First off, I'll tell them chronologically. First off, we get to Canada. This is, I think it's like 10 days before the weed legalization bill like goes into effect, and there are already dispensaries open everywhere. The first night we pull up to this vegan restaurant, I get vegan poutine, which as much of a crime as that is, because you're meant to use cheese curds and like beef gravy, that shit was fucking amazing. It was made with like tofu and shit and miso. It was really good. I don't know. It tasted amazing, and it tasted just like real poutine. Anyway,
Okay.
so as we're sitting at this restaurant, my mum's too older, because I went to Canada with my mum and a group of her mates, so they're all in their like mid-40s. Two of them just go, weed, and they both stand up and they run down this alleyway out of the restaurant. They're like, we'll be back in 20. 20 minutes later, they come back. They've just been to a dispensary. They've got 4 glass jars under each arm, each one containing like not an ounce, but like a half ounce of weed, and they're just like, found it. Found so much weed. There was shit named Apache helicopter, and we bought it. And they didn't run out for the rest of the trip. We were in Canada for nearly a month, and they didn't run out. They just smoked everything they had, and it was amazing. No, it was a great trip. That leads into the second story, which is the disaster of that trip. It was so there were good aspects of it, and then there were bad. First of all, we started off. The weed had crack in it. No, so we started off as a group of 6, and we all initially planned to stay.
Slowly picked off.
Well, yeah. So we decided to stay for a month. We get up to Whistler. We start mountain biking. We have some of the best days of our lives, and then me and my mum are following. Me, my mum, and our friend Sean are going down this trail, and I stop at the bottom, and it's kind of the similar situation as to Mattheus when you broke your shoulder, and I stopped at the bottom of the trail and just kept waiting, and as I was waiting, my heart just slowly sank, because no one came down the trail. And I'm finally like, oh fuck, okay, I'm gonna hit up the trail. I start walking up, I walk about a kilometer back up this trail, and I come across my mum sitting on the trail next to Sean, who's like lying there in pain. He'd tried to do a jump, and he launched himself, and he'd landed wrong. He separated his AC joint in his shoulder, which is like, so you guys know in a shoulder, there's the ball joint, there's the socket, and in between, and there's the socket, and there's the collarbone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'd separated between the socket and the collarbone,
Oh.
Yeah, he'd put about a 2 centimeter gap between those two bones, which is not
Oh
good.
my god.
Yeah, it was real bad. So
We
he-
didn't think it was good, Finn.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. That is insane that he did that and didn't dislocate his shoulder instead.
I know, it's fucking crazy. He hit it at that perfect angle. So he was out. He got stretchered down. They took him down in a 4x4 down a mountain bike trail on a stretcher, which is pretty sick.
That would
So-
have been fun, right?
He's out of the trip. He stays on the trip though, and he's just kind of carting himself around with his broken arm. Then our friend Wayne is the next to go. His crash was the worst because he was the most excited to come to Canada. He was like the kind of driving force behind the whole trip. He was biking up a hill. He took his foot off the pedal to put it down to grab his water bottle, put his foot down going like no speed at all, and snaps his leg. Just completely breaks through one of the bones. And-
What?
Yeah, and he kept riding on it for 4 hours without noticing that it was broken, which probably fucked it even more. So then he was out. He ended up going home early along with our other friend Jamie, who somehow didn't get injured. And then there were 4 of us left.
Despite all my attempts.
Yeah, there were 4 of us left. Then my mum breaks her shoulder, which I may have talked about before, but she was following me over a massive rock drop. She goes over, falls off, breaks and dislocates her shoulder, is fucked for the rest of the trip. Half the people leave. I'm the only non-injured person left. And that kind of led to just us going around Canada not biking, which was kind of disappointing, but it was still an awesome trip.
Yeah.
But
Wait, what did you do after that?
So after that, we went from Whistler to Squamish, which is very cool. That's where your aunt climbed that rock. And then
My
Squamish.
grandmother climbed that rock.
That's right. It will. In Squamish, there's this big rock called the Chief, and it's this massive rock which looks over the entire town.
And the reason it's called the Chief is because when you look at it when you're driving into Squamish, the rock is shaped that it looks like a Indian chief. Like the head with it's like the symbol for the Blackhawks. If you know that hockey team, you probably don't.
I don't think I do, but yeah, go on.
I do. I'm very familiar with hockey.
Of course, I'm the one that uses that as an example.
So yeah, we're up.
In Canada.
The rest of the Canada, man. The rest of that trip, I ride a couple of trails in Squamish. I have a fucking close call where I go over a jump and mid-air notice that my axle has almost come out of my wheel, which is really bad. After that was the end of our riding. We go back to Vancouver, and then I think we spent a couple of days in Vancouver, and then we go to Vancouver Island, and that was where the trip kind of got like mellow but really cool, because Vancouver Island is such a pretty place, and like we traveled around pretty much the whole island. We actually
You would have seen my grandmother's house from the ferry on your way into the island.
Yeah, I probably did. I also went to the place where, like, the birthplace of one of my favorite bands at the moment called Spirit Box. They're a cool band. Check them out. And then we came home, and that was the end of the trip. It was full of injuries, weed, and bikes. What more could you want?
That's the best summer trip in Canada.
Yeah, it
in
was sick.
Vancouver.
All you can do and go. That's all you can do in Canada.
Oh
Canada.
yeah, of
Ride
course.
mountain bikes and smoke weed.
Now you have to go back and
In
do it, but
pain.
instead skiing.
Yeah, no, I'm very much keen for when COVID is, and it'll still be an issue. I reckon COVID's gonna be an issue for years to come. But when COVID isn't as much of an issue, we need to all head to Canada and go skiing. We need to stay there for like 6 months, experience the end of the skiing season and the beginning of the mountain biking season, because they kind of go hand in hand.
I was saying we do an overseas experience.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
University.
That's what I was thinking of doing, like in my gap year. I want to go to.
That'd be fucking crazy.
We could road trip around North America in Canada, and then I want to fly to Britain and return to my roots and go stay in the quaint little town of Kings.
Yeah, I need to return to my homeland of England.
Yeah, well, we can head back. We can go fight some battles, brother.
You know, technically, my dad is British.
Get out.
He was
Yeah.
he was he was born in I think it was in
Yorkshire.
like Britain.
Yorkshire.
He was born there like on a sabbatical. He was there for 10 hours or like 10 days
Oh.
like in the hospital and then was flown back to Canada.
Holy
It's not
shit!
good.
So
Yeah.
he's technically British.
Have you guys seen the TV show New Amsterdam?
No, but I've been meaning to. It looks sick.
The second season just came out, and that's what me and my mom and dad were watching before this episode. It's so awesome.
Oh yeah. Have you seen Matteus? Did you see the awesome announcement?
Uh, fourth season of Sex Education.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Well, you need to watch that. It's great.
It's gonna be so shit at the whole long distance.
Oh yeah, because Maeve fucks off to America.
Yeah,
I just finished I finished watching How to Sell Drugs Online last night, staying up way too late before work, of course. And now I want to watch Breaking Bad because I want to see all the classic iconic Walter White moments, and also I like shows about massive drug operations. It's just kind of really interesting how it works.
My mom watched How to Sell Drugs Online.
It's good. It's a good show. The dubbing, she would have been able to watch it in German because your mum speaks German,
Yeah.
but the dubbing gets progressively worse to the point where in the last season there's no tension in any of the scenes because like the characters will obviously speak in German with like some sort of tone or like they get the sentence across in a tone which is tense and it kind of displays how the scene
They're
is.
acting.
They're acting, exactly. But when there's a voiceover and like the dubbing is so shit because it's just British people and obviously being paid low in a studio to do this. So they just don't have any emotion behind their voices. They're just like, oh no, Lenny, the Dutch are here to kill us. Leave. And it's fucking boring and shit. It's a good show still, but if I was to watch it, a Netflix show that I recently finished. But if I was to watch it again, I would watch it in subbed instead of dubbed. Anyway, going back to going back to a previous conversational topic. We are all essential workers. We talked about this before in episode 4 of the podcast, but like
I'm not.
yeah, oh sorry, yeah,
Yeah,
you're not,
we're
but you are.
both
You're
not.
working
I make
now.
tacos. I wish that was essential. It should be.
It is
Bruh,
essential.
I
It
make
is
I
essential.
actually if we were in a dairy where we work, I would not be essential because I just make toasties and the toasting machine wasn't running. But holy
I just have to
fuck!
fucking deal with disabled old people all day.
how
So slow.
how it feels working at checkouts at Countdown. Can't you just get their items and oh no, you do scan their items for you and you make it faster.
If I scan their items and they're too slow, I pick up one of their items and I beam it at their head.
Just clock them with it.
That was a joke. It was a joke. Countdown management, please don't find me. I'm just joking. For legal reasons, that was a joke.
That was a joke. This is a joke. But ever
Rude
since
joke.
we went back out of level 4 and we can now do food, I have made so many fucking toasties this weekend. Because I've been working, I work Saturday and Sunday this weekend. Not quite open till close, but 10 until close. And the amount of people coming in, because during level 4 we had so many people coming in being like, can we get a coffee? No. Can we get a toasty? No. Then why are you wasting my time? Bro, you came to my store. Now it's just like we let them in one by one, because that's how it be. And I was just flipping shit all day on the grill. And it's satisfying work, because I get a free toasty out of it, which is awesome. But how busy has it
Nice,
been
man.
for you, Matteus? Working at a
Oh,
takeaway
making
shop?
tacos.
Yeah.
It was insanely busy on Wednesday, our first day. But then I worked Friday and Saturday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and it was like dead. It's like so slow. But it's just because we only are really getting Uber orders and like online orders.
Oh yeah, because can you do in-person service? No.
No, and when we get down to level 2, I really don't know what the restrictions are going to be since our store is so tiny. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, true.
I remember last time we were transitioning levels, my boss actually forgot that it went down to level 2 one day. Like we had the whole thing set up for level 3, and then he was like, "Why are a bunch of people gathering outside of our door?" And I went, for open today, and he was like, "Wait, it's level 2 today. Fuck!" And they had only put like
no.
2 people on the schedule, and so I get a call at 11:40, and he's like, "Yo, Matteus, how early can you be here? Like now?" I was like, "I could probably be there at like 12 at the earliest in like 20 minutes, and he's like, "Yes, please do that." And
Was
so I get up there.
the lockdown before this one?
Yeah, I think so. And it was like I get back up there, and it's like maybe I think it was like 3 or 4 of us on once I got there, but we literally had it where it was the entire like seating area is full, and then there's a lineup to the open door, and I was like, oh shit, okay.
Oh fuck.
But yeah,
I want a taco.
I want a taco too, man.
you
Actually,
guys
I'm not a
gotta-
big fan of tacos. I don't really like hard shell tacos.
well, we don't do hard shell tacos. We do freshly
Oh,
pressed
hell
tortilla
yeah.
tacos.
That's that aristocrat shit right there. I just want a burrito though, like a finely wrapped burrito.
Yeah, we
with,
don't do
like, onions
burritos.
and shit. Why?
Because it's like a whole other like I don't know, subgenre.
Of Mexican food.
Because like
The
we
subgenre.
freshly press our own corn.
Do you only do
tortillas.
tacos?
Yeah, like we freshly press our own corn tortillas, so it's not like we don't have the right equipment to make fresh big like tortillas for burritos.
Ah, right.
I have made one burrito at work though, and that was for my friend that is allergic to corn.
It's
He's
allergic to the
rice.
shape of tacos.
He's allergic to tacos.
Sorry,
No,
Mattheus, go on.
literally, he
I'm
is though.
allergic.
He's allergic to gluten, but that's okay because nothing in our store has gluten in it. But
Oh,
then he's
shit.
allergic to corn, which is the alternative to like bread and stuff. And then he's also allergic to rice. So you're like, what the fuck are you gonna eat?
What does
He's
he
allergic.
eat?
He's slightly allergic to like garlic, and he's slightly allergic to onion. So
What
he
is-
had to take like antacids after eating our the burrito I made for him. He brought like this weird, I don't know, it felt like rice like shell for his burrito, but it obviously wasn't because he's allergic to it. But I like heated that up and then put the same amount of meat that I would in like 3 tacos, and then just charged him for 3 tacos.
What does
but-
this man eat? Oh my
The
god.
things I've seen him eat, and I will send you a photo of this that you can use as the cover for this episode if you want. He brings about 17 mandarins to school and just eats oranges.
That's
like, just
fucking
mandarin.
awesome. That's so cool.
I just ate 2 oranges just there.
But he does it in a really weird way. He also brings chopsticks.
From his
And he-
mandarins?
Yeah, and he stabs it through the middle, and he uses it to like help himself peel the mandarin.
Hey, sorry, bro. I'm
a
allergic to
freak.
forks.
Wait, you
know-
use
you know
a
that
fork
Ed
on your
Sheeran-
orange?
You know that Ed Sheeran song "I'm in Love with the Shape of You"?
Yeah.
I'm allergic to the shape of tacos.
We gotta make a parody of that.
Yeah.
The Faz video is looking fucking awesome. It's up to 10 minutes edited now. I haven't worked on it in a few days, but we're hoping for it to be about 22 to 25 minutes of just...
It's gonna be a banger, dude.
Yeah, and this isn't like 22 to 25 minutes of raw footage. This is 22 to 25 minutes of like highly edited fucking... I tried to go all like Misfits, Prezzo, fucking all that shit style. And it's actually going pretty well. I know, Mattheus, I'll show you this after the recording, but Will, I know you're pretty...
Ugh, let's watch it again.
I'm so excited for this.
The
Well,
thing is, I love it, but it kind of makes me sad because since our viewer base, I know not many people are gonna see it, and that makes me sad.
Yeah, I
'Cause
just
like
want,
it so much.
I really want this video to go somewhere. I want it to, if this gets front page and we get like
Blow it
200k
to
views,
pop off.
I will be so fucking happy. It'll be amazing.
Speaking from doing like my media studies work and stuff like that, editing like a lot of footage down to like, you know, a certain like, you know, down to 10 minutes or whatever. That's
It's
so much
difficult.
work.
I know, that's why I'm trying to...
I hate it. Then.
I
hate
fucking
editing.
love editing. I could see myself being a video editor.
Well, you can be the video editor of the channel because I'm not ever touching editing ever for the rest.
I
of my
love
fucking
photo
Oh,
editing.
yeah,
I just haven't brought myself to do video editing.
Video editing is so hard, bro.
it's so much more time consuming.
It's pretty time consuming, but you get into a flow, and if you're making a video which makes you laugh, it's so much fun.
You're a different kind of animal, fun.
I
Dude,
like
my
it.
media studies is kind of
If
whack.
engineering, if engineering falls through for me in in university, I'll just drop out and I'll come to South Seas with you and Jay, Will, and I'll just take an editing course. There's like 3-year-long editing courses that I could do while you're doing your director's course, and then we could just become a
Oh.
movie trio. That would be fucking awesome.
I
It'd
like
be
how
awesome, man. You won
all of
Oscars for editing.
Yeah.
I like how all like both mine and your plan is that if like engineering fails, well, my backup is photonics, and then
That's a
if
sick
photonics is not my cup of tea, I'll just do photography.
Yeah. Well, you appear to have at least a decent knack for that one, Mattheus.
Eh?
To
Oh,
say
Why
the
don't you
least.
guys just do the interests that you have rather? Like, why engineering?
Because
Why-
I
'Cause it's
don't
so
want
much
that to be
harder.
my job.
It's so much harder to make it in like editing or photography.
Oh yeah, true. Being a successful photographer is probably harder than being a successful engineer.
The thing is I think the most exciting thing that I can think of right now is doing photonics.
Yeah, that sounds
because
sick.
What is
It's-
photonics? I don't know. What
Photonics is the science of light, so it's like optics, it's like lasers, it's like what else? I think it's like X-ray machines, that sort of thing. It's any sort of science of light. My dream job in that is people that study photonics can go on to do stuff like designing the Hubble telescope,
That'd be fucking
designing
awesome.
cameras that can go into outer space. That would be fucking awesome. Photonics is different than like engineering. It's not just like, oh, here's an electrical engineering degree where you can, use so many different things. Photonics is like, I could make cameras and like lenses and all these cool stuff, but then also I have access to the laser lab and I could take photos in the laser lab.
That'd
like-
be awesome. That would be so
That's
sick.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Speaking
then-
of, oh sorry.
Good
sorry.
that you guys have plans.
You got plans, Will. Your plans sound awesome.
I don't know. South Seas is really it. That's all I have, and if that's probably not even gonna work.
That'll work. You definitely have a knack for film creation.
Because you need a lot of credits and shit like that to get into South Seas. Because I wouldn't say it's prestigious, because it's not, but it requires some level of
Yeah, I feel like
competence.
the last couple of years and COVID and everything is gonna make universities looking at our graduate year, and the year above and below us. They're gonna be pitiful on us because these years have been fucking
I
hard
hope so. The
at
school
school,
system
man.
sucks, so maybe not, but I hope so.
That's true, but these years have been so hard on schoolwork. I have an exam over Education Perfect on Thursday and another one on Friday, which I'm not really looking forward to. They're in physics and calculus as well. I gotta relearn how to
It's
do
not-
algebra in 3 days.
Will, I have a question for you. What
Yes, sir.
within the development of like a film would you want to do? Like what part of it?
I just like writing and directing, man. It's just that.
Writing, directing? Because I was looking at I was so curious, when like the credits roll and it says director of photography,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what the fuck?
I don't.
What does that do? And I searched it up, and it's not photography. It's like the complete overseer of the cinematography and the style of the film.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that would be really cool.
Just
It's
like a
just
big boy.
Sorry?
It's just like the big boy of the
The big
photo,
boss.
the photo aspect of the film. Yeah.
Yeah. Is
It's-
that director of photography?
Yeah, director of photography is like the main cinematographer that kind of like he correlates he or she like correlates the like style of the film. So it's like the director would work with the cast and stuff, and then the head of the director of photography or whatever would like in the movie 1917.
Yes, that is a gangster
Yeah?
movie.
He's the one that like I if I was that, I'd be like the one that's connecting all the shots and like keeping the style together. Yeah, it sounds really cool. I just don't really do much video, so
Yeah.
yeah. There's a thing called an auteur. It's like French word. It's like auteur, and it's a phrase that's used to refer to people who have like control over multiple aspects of a creative thing, like creative process of making something.
Oh yeah.
Which means like if a director is an auteur, it means they, rather than just directing, they have like full control over the film, like
They have multiple
how
roles.
who's in the film, what music is used in the film, how the film is shot, the style, everything, the writing of the film. Like that, those are people like Quentin Tarantino and Wes
Yeah.
Anderson and stuff like that.
The crazy
And that's
famous
kind of
directors.
like my favorite director basically. But I that's kind of what I would like to be. That's like a lot to ask, but I kind of want like if I were to be making films, I'd kind of want to have like control. I guess it sounds kind of greedy, but I would like to have control over a lot of the aspects of the whole process of making the film.
Yeah, nah, fair enough. That would be cool. And then seeing it come to fruition and being like, yeah, man, that's my
Yeah, just
project.
because if I have like an idea and a vision for something, I want it to like if I want my vision to sort of I want it to be my vision, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I get
Yeah,
you.
no, I like that. I think for me, all of my ideas of like my dream job and stuff are actually like such an end goal, you know?
Yeah.
Like I definitely couldn't just go like straight from, university and then jump and be like, "Oh, I want to work at SpaceX or whatever." Like but like I wish, man. Be
I
crazy.
want to
Yeah,
work
yeah.
it. I don't know if I would be cool working at SpaceX if Elon Musk wasn't such a fuckwit. But I do really aspire to be one day be an aerospace engineer. That's like that's my end goal. Because I just fucking love rockets and planes and anything that goes up, pretty much. And
I was actually, if you had spoken to me like about this stuff, like maybe 2 years ago or something like that, I would have definitely told you that I would wanted to be an engineer because I was so obsessed with aviation and
Yes,
aircraft. I didn't
I
really
love.
care so much. I didn't really care so much about like space exploration stuff. I just really like planes.
I've been through so many like plane hyperfixation phases as a kid. There are drawings on.
I have hundreds of books about planes. Dude.
Yeah,
It's
same.
not
I have the. I don't know if I still have it, but I don't know where the drawings have all gone, but I have a collection of like aviation art that I did when I was like 10, and they're all shitty like pen or pencil colorless drawings of planes. But that was all I would do for like 4 years, and I fucking loved it. It was like trains when I was younger, and then before then
Yeah, I love
construction
trains,
equipment.
bro. Oh, Finn, there's
Yeah.
a series of books. There's a series of books written by someone, I can't remember who writes them, but they're like user manuals for famous aircraft. And
That sounds so cool.
But it like fully breaks down the entire aircraft and how it's been engineered and how it was built and how to maintain it and repair it and
Do you have any
like
of
all
these?
the. I have one. Yeah, I have one. I'll send you some photos, but
That sounds
I have
sick.
one. I have one for the Hawker Hurricane, the World War II aircraft. But it shows like, all the X-ray views and how it was built and stuff like that, and all the blueprints and stuff. Cool,
Oh,
man.
that's so cool. That's so awesome.
I'll see if I can.
That'd be sick. Mattheus, actually, you mentioned before. My monkey brain latched onto this when you mentioned the Hubble telescope. But on December the 18th this year, which is in like 2 months? No. 2.5 months. They're launching the James Webb telescope, which is like, it's like the Hubble. It's the Hubble telescope's direct replacement, and it can see like way further and way clearer than the Hubble telescope can. And
Is
it's
it the
been-
one that they have like delayed for like years
Yeah,
and years and
the one that
years?
they've kept putting off. They've finally got
They're
another launch
finally
date.
yes.
Yeah, they're finally launching it. And it's this crazy like triangle with a massive like hexagon panel coming off it with all the photonics equipment. But I just can't wait to see some of the shit that comes out of that. Because if
Yeah.
you've seen like screenshots.
I found it.
Oh, you found it. Yes.
Hawker Hurricane 1935 onwards, all marks. Owner's workshop manual. An insight into owning, flying, and maintaining the RAF's classic single-seat fighter.
Can I borrow this? I want to go through this with my dad because my dad would love this.
Yeah, you can have a look, man. It's cool.
Finn,
Fuck yeah.
Finn, the what's the name of the new
The
telescope?
James Webb telescope.
The James Webb telescope. It has like 16 or like 18 like solid gold panels to reflect the light on its like
Fuck, that's
hexagons that
gangster. Can I
spread out.
steal them?
And the one of the reasons I saw that it got delayed from going off is that it's like it has these things that basically it needs to be positioned close enough to like a star that it gets enough light to actually be able to take the photo.
That's sick.
And so it has these things that disperse the heat because it would literally like melt
It would
from
melt,
how close
yeah.
it is. and so it has these like thin layers of like material. At least this is how I remember it. Take my word like a grain of salt. Like I'm not 100% sure, but
Yeah.
they have all these layers of like this film so that it like doesn't let all the heat like destroy the components. And they were
Wow.
like doing their like last few test setups before they launched it, and like 3 or 4 of the layers ripped. And so they had to basically
Heartbreaking.
rebuild the entire telescope, and that's why they delayed it by like an entire year.
Yeah, that's the thing about like space, like craft. If anything goes wrong, they just have to be completely rebuilt, and like projects have been scrapped because of like a tiny error and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
remember someone. Oh, you go.
no,
Sean.
oh yeah. So I'm not sure if it's still going, but I remember one of the best days I had of this year was when I stayed up. It was a school night. I stayed up till 5 a.m. to watch the live stream of the launch of the initial flight of the Ingenuity helicopter, which is what they've got. It was a helicopter, which it's a double rotor helicopter. The rotors are stacked that they had mounted underneath the Curiosity rover, and the Curiosity rover's a Mars rover, and they dropped this thing. I think they dropped it once the rover had landed, and they've been flying it around Mars, which is so fucking cool. And one of the really iconic things about it was they have a little like postage stamp sized sample of the fabric that was used to build the Wright brothers' first powered aircraft, and they have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have that inside the componentry of the Ingenuity helicopter. And it's so cool because that piece of fabric has now been present for the first powered flight on multiple planets. It's so
That's
sick.
so sick.
It's so cool, yeah.
You know what's cool
What?
is that there's a lot of theories and a lot of people who believe that New Zealand flew an aircraft, a heavier than air aircraft before the Wright brothers did.
I mean, there were gliders that were going up way before the Wright brothers did, but if this is a powered aircraft, that could be fucking huge. I'd love to
There's
be.
a guy. I have a book about the heaps of aviation pioneers from New Zealand, like various people who were quite influential in the aviation sort of industry in the world. But there was a guy who did a number of tests and things in the late 1890s, and a lot of people say that he flew a powered aircraft before, like in the late 1890s.
Holy shit.
Well before
The Wright brothers.
the Wright brothers did. And if that's true, because we don't know, but if that's true, that's insane.
That
That's,
would
like,
like
unbelievable.
rewrite the history of aviation. That's
Pretty
crazy.
much.
Yeah.
How do you know like how it was powered?
I have actually
That
heard that theory before, but I
I can't remember his name.
I
But he
thought-
was a well-known aircraft like aviation pioneer and designer.
That's awesome. I call it a theory, but it's probably. I mean, I'd like to believe that it's true because New Zealand being the first place to fly a powered aircraft would just make me so happy. I fucking love
I know.
aviation.
We're a nation of achievers, man. I
We
always
are a
say
nation of achievers.
because we've achieved some crazy stuff. We were the first to climb Mount Everest. We helped to split the atom. Like we've done some crazy stuff. We were the first to allow women to vote.
Yeah, we were. Rutherford's model of the atom was the basis for the widely accepted model of the atom now, which is so cool.
Yeah.
He was the guy
It's
that
insane,
discovered that
man.
there are not negative particles, neutral particles.
Mm.
Funny thing about Mount Everest, dude. Sir
Oh,
Edmund Hillary, that's his name.
Edmund Hillary.
Because when did he die? He died in like 2009, I think. 2007.
think.
When I was like 1 or 2, when I was still a little fucking pissy pants baby, I was on the same bus as Sir Edmund Hillary once, and I climbed up his leg as like a toddler or a baby, and my parents were like, "Oh, sorry about that," and he was like, "Oh no, it's fine," and he said something like, "This kid will go somewhere one day," or probably wasn't as inspirational as that. It was probably some shit like, "Get off my fucking leg, bitch." But I just like to think that I climbed the man that climbed the tallest mountain in the world.
I thought you were gonna say something like you climbed his leg, and then your parents were like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then he said, "No, this kid's a little climber." And
Imagine
you're like,
that. I just go into
Mountain climbing is fucking sick.
mountain climbing is
Mountain
crazy.
climbing is so cool, but it's like scary as fuck. I'd never do it.
you know what I find
pretty
is a
cool.
weird fact is that the second tallest mountain in the world is more dangerous than Mount Everest. It's called K2.
Yeah,
And it's
K2.
K2
more
is crazy.
dangerous coming down it than going up it. And
Wild, man.
What is so
and,
dangerous about K2?
it's way steeper. Like like the proportions of like skinny to tall, and there's a lot of like crevice traversing. My tutor in Canada when I was I was like 8 and 9 in tutoring, her like close family friend climbed K2, got to the
Whoa.
top, and then on the way down he fell into a crevice and died.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So he climbed up with like a whole group of people, and I'm pretty sure K2 is like less than like a half of the people that have climbed Everest have climbed
Yeah,
K2.
it's one of the least climbed of top like 5 most tall mountains.
Yeah, and he like climbed all the way to the top, achieved this like life goal, and then on the way down,
Died.
something happened with like a ladder that was over a crevice or something like that.
That's awful. Crevice is I actually have a video in my recommended right now that I haven't watched yet, but it's called "The Day I Fell into a Crevice," and it looks to be a skier talking about the day he fell into a crevice.
Oh, I think
Because
I've
that
seen
shit, yeah, that shit sounds scary. I've seen videos of like whole cars falling into these things and the drivers just dying because they've just fallen. Like,
because you guys didn't grow up around snow.
I wish.
There's whenever you're skiing, and this is like any type of skiing, but mainly downhill because downhill people are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And we decide to go in between trees because it's cool as fuck. It's so cool. Tree skiing is amazing. But there's these holes around trees because in Canada there's a shitload of evergreens. Trees that don't
yeah.
lose their
I know
their
what you're talking
ferns.
about.
And so they're like ferns and their branches kind of keep the snow away from it. But when you have 5 meters of snow, it goes up to the top of the tree, right? Like it goes up halfway
Yeah.
at least. And so you're skiing down nowhere near the roots. So like you're way up. And if you like crash into a tree or something and you fall into this hole that the branches have made, and the snow kind of gives way under there and it like fills in more because you're pushing it around and stuff,
You can
and
just
you have these big long sticks of like skis on your feet, and you can't climb out of it because you're in the suit and stuff. You can be like stuck head over heels down this hole with like
Oh
no
my
one around, and because
God.
it's snow, it's like you're screaming under a blanket.
Yeah.
It's there no sound reverberates, so it's not like you can't yodel when you're on top of a snowy mountain 'cause it just sucks up.
Sucks
So
up
you're
all
just
the
stuck
air.
in this
the sound.
silent hole of darkness, and you just like
That's what I
starve to
think of in high
death
school.
basically.
That's fucking terrifying, man. That's
There's
Yeah.
so many things that like people do that I admire, but I would never do. Like
I
I'd be
love
like, holy
any
shit,
sort of
that's cool
mountain
as fuck,
sport
but I'd
is
never do
crazy.
that.
Like rock climbing, mountain biking, downhill skiing, all of that is.
That being said, even though you can die a miserable death, it rarely happens. And Finn and Will, I need to take you tree skiing.
I was
It's fucking amazing.
I
I
wanna
want to
skiing
go, man.
so
I want to
bad.
go.
The one experience I've
fucking
had
love
with
that
I've had
shit.
2 experiences with snow sports. Once was I went snowboard. I did a snowboarding course on Cadrona Ski Park down South Island of New Zealand, and that was fucking fun. I remember I had a little story where when I first started the course, I was shit and I fell over in the snow all the time, and there was this group of skiers laughing at me, and then by the end of the day,
What?
I know. By the end of the day, I got good enough at snowboarding that I got to the end of my run and I skidded and I like sprayed all the snow out and just perfectly splashed all the same guys that had been laughing at me with snow. I felt
Yes.
so
That's
mean,
some
but it was-
Disney Channel movie shit, man.
I know, it was so redeeming. It felt amazing.
Yes.
But one of the funny things that I think about a lot with sports like these is in mountain biking there was this guy called Kelly McGarry or McGazza as everyone called him, and he was like one of the best mountain bikers in the world, and he was a New Zealander, and he was doing all this crazy shit like Red Bull Rampage, which Mattheus, you've seen. It's like that.
Oh, I love Red Bull.
Red Bull Rampage is crazy. It's that massive course in like the Nevada desert down that hill.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
know about that. I just like Red Bull.
Oh, yeah.
I just drink a lot of Red Bull.
You're fired up. But
I'm fired up, bro. Holy shit! After you're done, I have a story to tell.
all right, this guy Kelly McGarry or McGazza, he was doing all this crazy shit. He had a few injuries, but he never died. Well, obviously, he never died. Because then he wouldn't have been able to keep doing this crazy shit. But he had a few injuries, as everyone does, a few bad crashes, but he never died. Until he was just mountain biking in Rotorua, which is his local trails he'd done hundreds of times, and he just had a heart attack in the bush and dropped dead. And it's so,
What?
I know, it's so unfortunate, because he had this legacy, he was internationally known. And he just died, that simply, like, that in the bush. And he's been remembered as, because this was back in like 2013 or something, he's been remembered as one of the legends, like Crankworks, which is a mountain biking festival, has a whole slopestyle
Race.
competition, which is like when you do heaps of tricks on a bike, pretty much. And they've named it after him. It's in honor of Kelly McGarry. And then they have a whole other thing called McGazza Fest, which is just where heaps of people get together to do crazy shit on bikes. And I watch it every year, even though I don't ride that much, just because it's such a cool thing that these people have come together to name a crazy festival after a crazy guy.
That's sick, man.
Anyway,
I hope
Will,
that I can have that kind of legacy after I die.
yeah, same here. I would
I
be
think everyone's goal in life is to be able to be remembered.
is to have a legacy. Yeah, that
I
would be
like
cool.
having a cool ass legacy would be way cooler than.
I don't mind dying an insignificant person, having lived a fulfilling and enjoyable life, but having a legacy having a legacy that I know while I'm alive will grow, and then dying with that thought must be so kind of peaceful, knowing that you're not going out without a
Yeah.
bang.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
Will, you were talking about Red Bull.
Bro, today, so last night, alright, so yesterday, no, I'm joking. So last
It just
night,
slowly gets later and later. Last week, no.
wait, so
So the day I was
last
born.
year, alright, so the day before I was born, bro. Nah. Last night, I stayed up and I didn't get any sleep, like I was saying, and then I got like 40 minutes of sleep at max. That's like the most I got to sleep.
Oh
I
my
went
God.
to work and I worked for like 2 hours and I got the biggest can of Red Bull Zero, which is the one I drink, which is my favorite. And I drank the whole thing in like 5 minutes, which it's not impressive, but I drank the whole thing. And then I went back to work for an hour. It was normal. But after an hour, holy fuck. I'd never felt this much energy in my entire life. Like, it was the most unbelievable feeling I'd ever felt. I was scanning shit. I was like, ding, 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 ding. Fucking thank you. Get the fuck out of my face. Next person. Ding, ding. It was unbelievable, bro. I never had that much energy. I was like, I could barely fucking look straight. I was like sweating and shit. It was insane.
Oh my
I was like,
God.
I felt like I was gonna have a heart attack. It was unbelievable. I had so much energy. I'd never had that much energy. From drinking
Red Bull gives you cardiac arrest.
I
It
did that
does. People have died from drinking
to drink
Red
too much
Bull.
Red Bull. I had a
I love Red Bull though. I'm gonna keep drinking.
I had an experience similar to that at work about a month ago. Oh no, it was before lockdown. Fuck, lockdown's gone on for over a month. About 2 months ago. Where I came to work, I had a coffee at home before work, and then I had another coffee at work, and then a barista accidentally made a single shot for someone who ordered a double shot, and I had that, and then I had a V. And for the rest of that shift, I was just like, holy fuck, I'm so wired. And I was just like pinging the fuck out. I wasn't pinging, so to speak, but I was like, I had so much energy. I was running around, I was doing all this crazy shit. And then it wore off, and I slept for 16 hours that night. And it was the
I
most
know.
rewarding sleep.
I had after the Red Bull, I had a major crash. I had super good energy for like 2 hours, and then it like fell off, and then I had no energy. I was like, fuck, bro.
When the caffeine leaves your body.
I find that caffeine doesn't affect me that much, or I just haven't had a crazy amount.
This is like the only caffeine I've had in my life. Red Bull.
But like
in the
I've
last
had
month.
energy drinks before, and it's been like the boys being like, "Oh, we should get energy drinks and like stay up late and like chat during a sleepover or something." And by like 12 o'clock, I'm like, "Bro, I'm ready to sleep."
Yeah.
Everyone's like, the
You're
fuck.
you're just a responsible, mature adult.
No, I'm
That's
just like,
what
I'm
you
just
are,
sitting there
bro.
like, bro, I'm actually genuinely tired. And Finn's like, bro, I had like 3 Vs, can't.
I'm fucking wired, bro.
I'm just off it.
we would be playing like a game on PS4 and you'd be like, oh, 10:30, it's past my bedtime. I know, boys.
Will, you used to read before going to bed at sleepovers.
Did I? No,
when I
you've never been to a sleepover with me where I've read. I only
Yeah.
did that with my other friends.
No, at your house when me and Jay were there. When we made a whirlpool in your pool, which is fucking amazing.
Oh yeah,
but,
Jay's told me about that.
But yeah, you read before you slept.
Fuck you, bro. I like reading. It's fun.
No.
I used to read books about planes, actually, funnily enough.
Yeah, me too.
But I didn't really read them. I just opened the book, looked at the image, and then I would like go into my own brain and be like, "Fucking yeah, flying plane! Holy shit!"
My
I
dad.
can imagine I'd fly on.
My dad grew up in the UK and around the time when the RAF was really gearing up for like some reason, I don't know. But when he was a kid, when he was in like the Boy Scouts, his Boy Scouts troop would go to the end of the runway at one of the Air Force, like the RAF Air Force bases, and they just sit there for hours and watch planes. And he's watched it like he watched the Concorde take off at one point, which was like that crazy.
The Concorde's so cool.
The Concorde is so
It's
cool.
one of the
Crazy.
coolest fucking
Yeah.
planes.
It's
ever.
the supersonic jet that could go from London to New York in 2.5 hours, which is fucking.
It could cross. I'm pretty sure it could cross the entire Atlantic in like 3.5 hours.
Yeah, it could do New York to London in 2.5. It was nuts. And he.
But they took it away from us.
Oh no,
We can't have nice things because it blew up at a fucking air show.
it didn't blow up in an air show. It blew up on takeoff after a piece of engine
No, there were
cowling.
2 crashes. There was the first one, then there was one at an air show. I'm sure I remember.
Oh, that might be right. But the first one, which was the one that got it shut down, was I watched like 4 documentaries on this. A piece of engine cowling fell off an MD like some other plane that took off before it, and then got sucked into the engine. Oh, sorry, blew one of the tires and started a fire, and then that fire spread to the engine, and boom, it crashed. The engine set on fire and it just fell out of the sky.
Do you watch Mustard, Finn?
I do not watch Mustard.
What? How do you not watch Mustard?
I watch a
That
guy.
sounds really weird. But there's a YouTuber. Fuck off, ad. There's a YouTuber called Mustard, and they make videos about planes and like aircraft and stuff like that. But their videos are the most like aesthetically pleasing shit ever, dude.
You watch Donut?
I need to watch.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah, Donut Media, bro.
Oh, isn't Donut
was-
Media the car channel?
Yeah.
they do-
Yeah, I've
they
watched
do
a few
shit
of their
about
videos as
cars.
well.
Fuck yeah, bro. That YouTube channel's fucking sick.
I
I love all these food-related automotive YouTube channels.
Yeah.
one of my like,
Mustard that brings donuts for cars.
one of my favorite things that I like. One of the things I used to watch when I was a kid was Air Crash Investigation, like the classic original
Oh,
series.
my dad loves that.
I love it, bro. I used to not be scared of flying, having just watched half a season of videos of like documentaries about planes crashing and why they've
Horrific
crashed.
reenactments.
Yeah, exactly. I was never scared of flying. I've never been scared of flying. I fucking love planes. And I
I've
love
always really
being on
liked
them.
planes.
The
Yeah.
only time I've ever been scared of flying was it was actually quite recently, but it wasn't because I was scared of the airplane or the flight or whatever. It was we were coming down and I had just had like some sort of it wasn't a sinus infection, but I think I had like really bad allergies or something.
Oh.
And it literally felt like my cheekbones were gonna split in half.
Jesus
Like
Christ.
I was so scared, and I think it was just
Oh,
like
is
a
that
random.
because of is that because like the pressure of flying
Yeah, the
up?
pressure change, and I think this lady across from me in the aisle was like a nurse or something. Because when I got up afterwards, and I literally like I was in between my knees, going like, "No, God," and
Alright, I didn't be tough.
and this lady, she was like, "Do you have like this?" And I think she said like some sort of
Disease.
scientific name for like sinus infection or something. I'm like, probably, I don't know. I just really hurt. And then I walked off of the airplane and I sat down like we walked off into the airport. I was in Auckland Airport. Just like turned to the side out of people's way, sat down, and like just stars went around me for like good like 3 minutes. I went to the
Jesus.
toilet and then just like sat down for like 5 minutes and was just like, holy shit, that was crazy. And then I walked in, my parents were like, that took a while, and I was like, yeah, I felt like I was gonna die.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, that's like I really like I'm like I feel like I'm the only person who enjoys flying. Like everyone's like, oh, it's such a pain in the ass. You
love
gotta
it.
deal with your bag shit. I like flying. Like I like being in the plane.
I remember
I like
looking out
flying,
the
but
window.
lots of my flights that I've experienced are like 14-hour flights back to Canada.
yeah, no,
Oh
I
yeah,
remember
most of mine have been short ones to like the South Island or something.
after my flight to Singapore, we'd stayed in Singapore for a couple of days and we were heading to the airport. And this is when I'd first gotten into drinking coffee, and I was off like 3 espresso machine coffees, which are weak as shit, but
God.
I was a youngin', so it had hit me pretty hard. And I was running around the airport. I was helping with everyone's bags. My little brother was sick, which was really bad because we were traveling while sick, which before the current times would be like in the current times that would be like a travesty, but back then it was just like, yeah, he's got a cough, let him on the plane. But yeah, I was running around Singapore airport. It was close to midnight. We were about to fly to Germany, to get our transfer to Birmingham airport. And I was just like wheeling like 4 bags around, and I was having a great time. Then we get on the plane, and my energy crash hits just then, and I just settle down for this like 8-hour flight, and I sleep 6 hours of it, and wake up just before landing. And I never sleep through, although it's hard to sleep through the descent and the landing and also the takeoff. I just love being awake and being alert for it, because I'll always sit at a window seat if I can and just watch us land, because I fucking love, like...
I have some
I always love
photos.
taking off. You know when your plane like is slowly moving towards taking off and that initial speed up where they like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that shit's cool. Like you get forced back in your chair and you're like, what?
I used to be such a little plane nerd. I knew all of the exact I knew the feeling of all the speeds for when they'd do the call outs in the cockpit for like takeoff and stuff. So whenever I would go on flights with my family, I would just sit there and would hit a certain speed and I'd be like V1, which is the point where you can't like abort the takeoff, and then I would just go rotate, and then as soon as I say that, the nose would start going up, because I knew exactly when and how they'd
so
be saying it.
sick.
I know. I was.
Yeah.
it was crack up.
Oh,
Like
that
some
was
BBC
so
shit,
awesome.
man.
I have some really cool photos coming into the coming down into the not I was about to say Devonport, bruh.
Landing in Devonport.
What's it called?
Devonport Airport.
It's somewhere in
love
America. It's where my aunts live. It's like in the middle.
Detroit
No, Denver.
Mountain.
Oh, Denver.
Denver.
Landing in Denver.
Yeah,
would be
coming
amazing.
into
Denver's
Denver.
cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know what's crazy about Denver? It's so high up, and they get like no rain. Like 30, I think
It's
they
dry,
said.
isn't it?
Yeah, I think they said
Oh.
like 350, 300 and, like 30 days of the year is dry.
That's crazy.
That's sick. What the fuck?
That's sick.
You know what?
Yeah, it's-
You know what's? There's a state just north. Well, you know Wyoming.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like Colorado's older, more boring cousin. But
Yeah.
I love Wyoming, bro. Like
Have
it's just the coolest state ever. Like I need to go there now. I need
Let's
to
head
go
to
Why?
Wyoming, bro.
There's like, cause there's just so much cool shit there, man. They got heaps of animals, like crazy mountains. They got Yellowstone. They got like Wild West history and all that shit. They got fucking gangster stuff, man. They got moose.
Oh, Meese.
They got
It's also a
mace.
square.
It's all yeah, just like Colorado. It's a fatty square.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
fat
right.
square, my guy. Yeah, they're
Oh, and,
just
and
sick.
it's Yellowstone National Park.
Yeah, yeah. It's sick.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, Yellowstone National Park and Old Faithful and shit like that. And the
Oh, my
super
brother went
volcano
there
that's
with my
one day
grandma.
gonna erupt and kill us all.
Yeah, that'll be the end of civilization.
There's some fucking amazing photos from Yellowstone during like sunrise. There's like
Yeah,
it's
over
like
the mountain.
mist coming off of the mountain because it's crazy. I think it's the rock gets so cold during nighttime that the moment the sun rises and shines on it, it literally like perspirates.
Whoa.
It like
That's so
steams off of
cool.
the surface. Yeah, and there's some crazy cool photos of that.
Yeah, I just like Wyoming, man. It's just a cool place.
Yeah.
You guys ever play Firewatch? Oh my god.
I need to play
This is unrelated,
Firewatch.
but you guys need to play Firewatch. It's such like an incredibly beautiful experience of a game, man.
I've watched an entire playthrough.
I love it, man. I don't know what you think of it, Mattheus, but it's a very short game, but it's just a nice game.
It's
dude.
very pretty, and I watched a whole playthrough because at that time I was way too poor to buy any games.
It's so cool. I recommend anyone out there play it. It's relatively cheap. It's a short game, and I love it. I'm promoting it.
Please do.
The two things I promote are Firewatch and Red Bull. Buy more Red Bull.
Drink Red Bull,
Red
play
Bull,
Firewatch.
send me more Red Bull. I need it.
We need a sponsor. We need to be the first Red Bull
We need a
sponsored
Red Bull
podcast.
sponsor. Yes, that'd be amazing.
Well, is it getting late, boys?
It is getting late. I think now it's time to call it. We've had a good episode despite the absence of a couple of our
Despite the
hosts.
circumstances.
Yeah. Well, I mean, thank you guys again for watching this week.
Thank you for watching.
This
Send
episode.
me
I wanna-
more Red Bull.
I want to say this before we head off. Finn, when you introed this episode, you said, "I'm your temporary host, Jay."
Did I actually?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Well,
what?
I am
I thought
Jay.
you were saying that as a joke, so I didn't say anything. I thought that was a joke.
Oh, okay, my bad. I am Jay. Well,
no, it's okay. That's funny.
No,
though.
Finn is now Jay for this episode.
in typical
Yeah,
Jay
pretty much.
fashion, I will do the outro. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening. Our socials are in the link tree in the
In the
description
info.
as always. We'll see you all next week.
Bye.